Hi, I'm Josh Steffler with WeAreChangeVictoria.org on Freedom Free for All TV, and I've caught up with Dr. Tim Ball, and we're just going to ask a quick question. So, Tim, in the geopolitical arena that we're all in, and climate change, what would be the best way to counter the propaganda when people come up to us and say, "Oh, you're just a climate denier"? What would be the best resource or the best way to at least try and bring them around to realizing that they're suffering from propaganda? And
well, of course, the first problem they've got is that these people take the moral high ground. So if you dare to question, then you are immediately evil person. So you're categorized right away. The second thing is that most people don't understand the science at all. And one of the most common comments I get after a presentation is, I had my suspicions, but I didn't know enough to know. And most people are wise enough to keep their mouth shut. If you don't know something about something, you're far better to say nothing. So that is generally what happens. The simplest immediate solution is to have a couple of questions that you fire back at. It's a standard in the Jewish culture that you answer a question with a question. It annoys people, but it works very effectively because what you're trying to say to them is, well, look, you're so sure. If I ask you a question and you can't answer, then maybe you're not so sure. And the standard one is, why CO2, which is less than 4% of the total greenhouse gases, has become the focus. And why, when CO2 in the past has been up as high as 6,000 parts per million, is 392 parts per million problematic? And why, when you stand outside and experience the weather, and you're experiencing everything from cosmic radiation in deep space to heat off the bottom of the oceans and everything in between, it's what we call a white noise. Why have they picked out one very, very small part of it? And of course the answer is because that suits the political agenda of saying CO2 is produced by human industry, which is destroying the planet. It's central to their political agenda. So you throw it back at that. The other thing is that they need to understand of how ideas change. And academics call it a paradigm shift. So the idea of environmentalism came in, and it was necessary. We need to look after our planet. We're all environmentalists, just these people have claimed they're the only ones that care and we don't. But what happens with a thing is that some people pick it up very quickly, some are very slow to pick it up, but a lot of people, the majority, are saying, well, how far do I go with this? There's some good ideas here, but we don't want to totally accept this. And of course they don't know. And the example I use is feminism. It was a new paradigm. It was a paradigm shift. And a lot of women were saying, well, yeah, great, we need some of this stuff. There's still some things they need. But the majority started to say, well, how far do we go with this? And that's when I understood, and this helps people understand, the role of extremism in society. Because the extremists, and I used to wonder, well, what good are they? What do they prove? They're just extremists. And the answer is they define the limits for the majority. So when extremist feminists started doing things, the majority of women looked and said, oh, no, now we're losing more than we're gaining. Without realizing it, the extremists have defined the limits. Well, what's happening with the environmental movement is that partly because of the climate issue, they're losing the battle. They're saying such extreme things that the majority of people are starting to get a grasp on what's happening. So, as I said, answer questions with those questions, those simple questions, and then step back and look at the extreme statements that are being made. Al Gore saying there's 10 years left and all of these sorts of silly things. And then, because dealing with it isn't just dealing with the extremists, but it's dealing with your own comfort level with what's going on. Say, well, am I having traitorous thoughts by suggesting maybe climate change isn't as severe? And of course, it's that guilt that they play on.
They play on a lot of guilt. Yeah. All right, Tim, thanks a lot. My name's Josh with wearechange.victoria.org, and if you'd like more information on the climate scandal, I would encourage you to check out Rosa Koi's book, Behind the Green Mask, the UN Agenda 21, or check out Tim Ball's website, drtimball.com. Until next time, be safe and be free.